To have you with us 10 minutes away from 7 o'clock on the Wednesday edition of GNT. I'm Gareth Edwards. The KZN High Court in Pietermaritzburg expect today to rule on former President Jacob Zuma's latest bid to have State Prosecutor Billy Downer removed from his corruption trial. I take you back to October last year, where Judge Piet Koen dismissed Zuma's application. Now, the former president wants the matter to go to the Supreme Court of Appeal, according to his lawyer, Dali Mpofu. Of course, the suggestion could be to find a different conclusion. Is that what we're expecting today? Let's get some analysis now on what we are going to see in court, joined by political analyst Dr. Oscar van Heerden from Fort Hare University. Dr. van Heerden, always good to have you on the South African Morning. Is that your expectation? Do you suspect there's going to be another court that could find a different outcome on this?
Good morning, Gareth. I mean, this is indeed the question. I mean, Judge Koen will have to make a determination as to whether indeed the Supreme Court of Appeal bench will find differently from him. He made a very compelling case in October as to why he struck this off and decided that to rule against the application. And I think that, Judge Koen is going to have to use case law. What has happened before in order to prove that he feels, possibly, that there won't be a bench or a judge or a group of judges that will find a different outcome and as such uphold his October ruling.
The political element of this, though, is some suggestions that the longer the trial, the start of the trial proper, is delayed, more support is going to be garnered for the former president and also his supporters within the ANC as well. There is a political angle that some are suggesting by delaying the start of this trial.
Well, this is exactly the point, and former President Jacob Zuma knows this, and his legal team. We've seen this play out over the last 20 years, Gareth. Delaying tactics on the part of Jacob Zuma, using every means to make sure that his court case is not actually going to court, and indeed trying to create this victimhood mentality, trying to say to people that I'm not being given a fair trial, when in fact it is him and his legal team that is constantly playing for delaying. We know, for example, if Judge Koen upholds his October decision, the legal team, Dali Mpofu and co, is certainly going to petition the Supreme Court to say, we don't think that we are being treated fairly, cast aspersion most likely not only on Billy Downer but now on the High Court and Judge Koen. It's all just tactics. And indeed, if the SCA rule in favor of Judge Koen, well, we know where it's going. It's going to the highest court in the land. So we're talking of at least another 6 to 8 months delay.
Suggestions as well of targeting the former president. There's this talk, and this is what this whole court case today is about, is this leaking of documents, this invasion of privacy, the targeting of the former president and the tarnishing of his legacy as the presidency. Is that what you believe? Is that your opinion, Doctor, that what the former president is fighting for is to preserve his name of when he was the president? Because if this trial goes against him, this is what he's going to be remembered for. This is more about saving the legacy of his presidency.
Well, two things I can say about that, Gareth. Firstly, what legacy are we talking about? I mean, if we're talking about a legacy of 9 wasted years of state capture, of being in bed with a criminal entity and in the form of the Guptas and many others, then I don't know what's there to protect about that legacy. But also, secondly, this corruption trial is not something that came out of the period of Jacob Zuma being president. It is before he became president. This is how long this has been going on. So I don't think there's anything about tarnishing legacy. He did that all on his own. And people are just now tired. They want the court to continue, the case to continue. He's been asking for his day in court, but he's doing everything in his power to not have that day.
What would the ANC stance, or what should the ANC stance be on something like this? They're very vocal outside the court, the supporters of the former president that are still ANC members, very vocal outside. And I suppose this is going to cause a problem within the ANC as well. Those who are very much against having the former president's name cleared, and then you have the other factions suggesting that he should have his day in court and let justice prevail as well. It still shows there's a big division created by the former president within his own party.
Well, again, two responses to that, Gareth. The first is that the official position of the ANC, not some a group of few supporters, the official position is that the law must take its course, that the president must have his day in court, prove his innocence, and then we will move on. So that's the official line of the ANC. Of course, in terms of factional battles within the ANC, Jacob Zuma is a spent force politically. Yes, there might be a bit of support still, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal, but I think people, and including the PEC, the provincial executive of KZN, knows that they are not going to spend a lot of time on former President Jacob Zuma because actually he is bringing nothing to the party with regards to the politics within the ANC.
And just the final question to you, Doctor, as well. We have to talk about where the money is coming from to pay for all of this as well. It comes down to the money. Let's follow the money.
No, absolutely, Gareth. And as you know, the former president has been pleading poverty. He's been saying that he can't afford all these legal fees, and yet we see him delaying and delaying. Of course, as you know, the advocates like Darlene Pofu don't come cheap. They ask for their compensation. And as long as the case is drawn out, he will have to spend more and more money. Eventually, he's going to yet again try and say that he is no longer in a position to defend himself because he has no money. But it is all because of his own doing.
Dr. van Heerden, it's always good to have you with us. We look forward to see what's coming out of the court today as well. The latest in the court case of the former president, Jacob Zuma. That was Dr. Oscar van Heerden, political analyst from Fort Hare University.